Hello, beautiful people, and thank you for being here today. Today I have an amazing guest. She's a physical and yoga therapist who has helped hundreds of students achieve their health goals, but most importantly, she has helped other wellness entrepreneurs grow their businesses sustainably while caring for their own health, which is very hard to do when you are in this on your own. But without any delay, let's welcome Alison McLean. Hi, Alison.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? Can you tell us a little bit more? What do you do and how do you help your customers?
Sure. Yeah. So I help the wellness entrepreneurs, so yoga teachers, massage therapists, physical therapists, coaches grow a profitable business. So when they come to me, it's essentially figuring out a lot of them are overworking or they feel like they're working a lot, but they're not bringing in the revenue to show for it. So we pretty much dissect what's happening in their day to day to figure out where their time is leaking. So that way, they feel like they have more control over their schedule, they have more control over their revenue, so they can actually turn off their entrepreneurial brain, feel good about it instead of guilty,
Mhm.
and get to that yoga class that they want to go to, or go for a walk, or just make it home for dinner and be present with their kids at the table instead of worrying about their to-do list, for example.
Perfect. And well, now that you mentioned the kids, well, this is the series of Hey Mom, What's Your Business? And that is one of the main topics or center the conversation about on how do you do your business while raising your family? What
Mm.
motivated you to start an your business because you have a brick and mortar, your yoga practice?
Yeah. Yeah, because I had my brick and mortar and I loved it and it was profitable and the clinic itself was busy, but I was teaching a lot of yoga classes in the evenings and early mornings. So sometimes I would get up and get out the door before my daughter even woke up to start her day. And I wouldn't get home sometimes till 9:30, 10 o'clock, and my daughter would be already asleep. And I taught teacher trainings on the weekends. And I arrived home one weekend on a Sunday, and my daughter told me, she's like, Mama, I miss you, and I didn't even see you. And I realized, like, and also that time I was going through my own health journey. I realized, like, these are the moments, like, it doesn't have to be done this way. I was only working these crazy hours because that's what my mentor did. That's what I saw my parents were
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and that's what they did. But I knew in my heart that there's entrepreneurs, I'd see them as well, that are growing their business and having ample time for their family. And I made it a point to figure that out for myself. And I did. And I started transitioning, and some of my patients, people in my social media network started seeing this transition, and they would ask me, like, what are you doing? I want to grow a business like yours. And I started getting more and more business coaching requests. And so that's how that online side of the business grew. And now that's primarily what I do.
So what I'm understanding is that, of course, it was a wake-up call from your daughter and your personal health journey, but you figured out that there must be a different way to do things, like you were
Mhm.
out of the box thinking. And I guess it's just changing your attitude and mindset of we can still work X amount of hours in a more uh, productive way, could be,
Yeah.
or profitable
Yeah.
way, so you can spend time with your family, because in the end when you are making all this kind of money and you don't have time to spend it with your family, then what's the point,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. 100%. And the mindset was huge because it made me realize, when I fill my cup, when I feel better, more energetic myself, uh, when I have ample rest time and time with my family and I'm living life and having fun, I am so much more productive in my business that it's so much easier to have better revenue and help more people when I feel better. It's just making that switch from, overworking and constantly worrying or trying to perfect. Sometimes it's people pleasing, perfectionism. Breaking those cycles of hustle is another one,
Yes.
and transitioning to a new way of showing up day to day in your business. It can be scary to do that.
That's true.
And I worked with coaches that helped me through it. And I'm so grateful that I went kind of through, sometimes it's called the river of misery, to figure that out,
Yes.
but if you stick with it, you will figure it out. And I look back on those first few years of my business and I look where I am now, and it's completely different. So different in such a positive way. So I'm so glad I went through all that.
Oh, absolutely. I am just trying to put my brain together in the what you said about uh that's how your family and was that's how they used to work. And I guess it was a lot of the old mentality that if you are
Yeah.
not there 10 hours a day working on your business, eating, thinking, breathing, everything about it, and because in the end you're not a business person, then you're not an entrepreneur,
Right.
then
Yeah, you're not
you're not
legitimate.
legit, right? And your children will understand one of these days that you are doing everything for them.
Right.
It's true, but you are not there for them, because my parents were the same. They are the same. Like, you have to be there. If you're not there, your business will not be successful. And I'm like, wow. And I did the same thing when I had a big brick and mortar, but many years ago. But we didn't have 20 years ago the technology that we have right now.
Sure.
That is a
Yeah.
blessings that we have right now. And how do you manage now with your online business, your time with your family,
Hmm.
between this new practice that you're having, this coaching that you're having with you're helping other coaches, wellness coaches, and having fun with your daughter?
Yeah, it's pretty much I have a schedule and I say I'm going to work between these hours and these hours, and it's sticking to it. And it's the sticking to it that's the tricky part. So it's for me, it's becoming aware of if I want to. So for example, I just started my normal working days, like when my daughter's in school, which is like 8 to 4 because she does aftercare, something in that neighborhood. But I also started implementing on Fridays, they have early dismissal.
Mhm.
And my daughter's going into third grade. And I'm like, these are the years for me to really bond with her. So now I'm doing half day Fridays where I get her at early dismissal and we go on like day trips, or so she just loves to go to Trader Joe's even.
Oh yes, that is the best field trip. You go and munch everything,
Yeah,
and
and find that monkey Rocco. What's that monkey's name? And get her lollipop and
oh yes, we'll go
um
and get the little samples of the bread, the butter bread. Oh my God,
I haven't seen but
mm.
so something simple like that. But it's easy for, if someone wants to get into my schedule, or I look at my to-do list and see like for example, I have a launch coming up, see that, oh, okay, I need to make the registration page, I need to do this, I need to do that, and be like, oh, I'll just get her at 2 o'clock, or I'll just get her at 3 o'clock instead of my scheduled time. So it's noticing the thoughts that enter my brain, like when it wants to sabotage the best laid plans, and
Mhm.
having a plan for that, to remind myself of why I want to stop working when I said I'm going to stop working, and reminding myself the benefits of leaving the work at the work, knowing that tomorrow is another day, next week's another week, and eventually it will get done, because there's this element of trust with yourself that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And so it's okay to leave all that and turn it off when you said, I'm going to stop at 4, or I'm going to stop at 1 and get my daughter early and we're going to have a fun day.
Okay, so I listen a very interesting phrase that I haven't listening with my other interviews, which is I wrote it down, element of trust. Can you please
Mm-hmm.
elaborate more of that, because it really caught my attention? It's just
Yeah,
about
sure.
self-confidence. It's not about self-awareness. It's an element of trust. What do you mean about that?
Yeah. So sometimes we we second guess ourselves.
Mhm.
We doubt ourselves for many reasons. Like, oh, maybe, for example, you've bought a program in the past and you haven't quite completed it, or you have these monthly revenue goals that you want to hit, but you haven't quite hit them yet. We find our brains are biased for our survival. And because of that, our brains are biased towards the negative. So if you're focusing on that, our brains will always pick up the evidence as to why you're not performing the best that you think you could, right? The problem with that is that it always chips away at your confidence. It always chips away at your belief at yourself or your belief in your ability to hit your goals. And that chips away with this self-trust that you have. But it's possible for you to rebuild that self-trust as long as you become aware of where your mindset has a tendency to gravitate towards. So if you're noticing you're always doubting yourself, especially if you're using stories from the past, like not finishing a program or not hitting your goals, it's always knowing that you can change at any time. You can create a new self-concept of what you're capable of achieving for the future. And it starts right now. So it literally, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, if you want to, for example, if you want to stop work and you're like, I'll do it on Monday. But then the sneaky thought comes in and says, that's what you always say. You're always procrastinating, or you're always not finishing your tasks, or whatever it is. It's
Uh-huh.
literally saying like, thank you, brain. I hear you, but it's not true. It's a lie. Our brains are liars sometimes.
I can imagine the little devil and the little angels just blabbing behind us. Okay.
And so it's just
Yeah.
reminding yourself like, no, I'm going to choose to believe this instead. And I'm choosing in that moment when I turn off my work, I choose to trust myself that I'll come back to it on Monday, for
Okay.
example. And then get your own back. Go back to it on Monday. Make a plan to go back to it. And if it doesn't work the first time, where you don't pick up where you left off, then figure out why and troubleshoot it. A lot of times it's data or math problems or
Okay.
schedule problems, and our brain just likes to create more drama that makes it more complex.
Okay. So maybe by using first, I understand that you have to be from what you're saying, you have to be more disciplined or structured to be able
Mhm.
to catch these little buggers in our
Yeah,
brain. Okay.
sabotaging thoughts.
Sabotaging thoughts. Okay. So because you when you are more structured, you can see like, oh, I can actually do this tomorrow. There's no problem because there's
Yeah,
no
there's no
conflict
problem.
or
Yeah.
okay. And have these been part of your challenges when you were trying to do your online business now, or were some other kind of challenges when you were trying to include this in your practice to give more time to your daughter? What are challenges as a business owner?
Yeah. I mean, it was believing that it would work for
Okay,
me, is believing that, oh, okay, like I can create these revenue goals, like success is possible for me too. And I would try to outwork the belief, meaning if I worked hard enough, if I worked long enough, then that would create the belief,
okay,
right? Or that trust that it can happen for me. But that's backwards. You have to create the belief and the trust in yourself first, and that is what creates the success.
okay. That's very interesting because, as I said, they teach us completely different. Like first, that's your goal, that's your success, and then you have to believe in yourself that you're going to go it and do that. But you have to visualize first. Am I understanding right? Or
Yeah,
or
no, you have
okay,
it. You got to believe, have your vision first and
okay,
believe in that first. And
okay,
it's the belief that will make it a reality.
okay, perfect. So then I did get it right.
Yeah, you did.
Very good. Now I know that your daughter is part of your motivation, and that's the reason you changed everything towards online. Uh, is there any way that she gets into part of your business? Because, for example, I do get my kids involved in my businesses because
Ah,
does she gets involved in your business, or you're like
yeah.
they're completely
Yeah,
separate?
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like for example, sometimes, so I still have patients that'll come here to the office, which is in my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a she shed here in our yard. So if she's home from school, sometimes she likes to say hi to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had some patients and clients that have been working with me like many, many years. And so they love to see how she's grown, and they ask her how she's doing. She's also very curious about what I'm doing. Like,
Okay.
she'll ask me like, mommy, what, how do you coach? Or how, she is actually, she loves yoga and she loves to teach yoga. She's been on the podcast. So
Nice.
she's just very curious about it. And we have conversations about it all the time.
That's impressive. So she's a mini teacher.
Yeah, she is. She's
So
actually,
cute.
her cueing, it blows my mind because her cueing is so spot on. I was like, I don't know if I've ever cued that good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah. And what would be the most important lessons that you have learned on this entrepreneurial journey while you are raising your child?
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important priority. Your business is always going to be there. It will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
But your child, that age 6, that's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And so cherish those moments now, because before you know it, they're going to be adults of their own and doing their own thing, and you're going to have so much time on your hands, you're not going to know what to do about it. So prioritize those moments with your children now, because it is possible for you to put them as your priority and still grow your business, and the business will always be there.
You're absolutely right. Now, when you are almost an empty nester that I am, then you have so much time that you start doing YouTubes and you start doing podcasts because you have no idea what else to do, right, in your life. So that's what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. But I started this channel to inspire other moms who
Mm-hmm.
wants to do something else with their life, or maybe they want to start an online business, or maybe they have a business and they want to put something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell them as an advice if they come to your practice and say, "Hey, I want to be a wellness coach. How do I
Mm-hmm.
do it? How do I start?"
Yeah, well, I mean, if so, first of all, it's just making sure they have the appropriate like certifications,
Mhm,
education, all that sort of stuff. And then it's so simple. From beyond there, you don't need a website, you don't need a logo, you don't need all the things. All
mhm.
you need to do is start talking to people and listening to them, listening to their problems. And if it's appropriate, tell them, oh, do you know that's what I help people with? I actually do that as a business. I help people with the very problem you just described, and I can help you. Would you be interested in learning more? And that's it.
That's it. So you don't need anything, but
You don't need anything else, because you just have these conversations, and they can be on in person if you want to do more networking events. They can be online if you want to be more online focused. And then they say, yeah, I'm interested in learning more. And you can say, oh, okay, well, I offer a free consultation. Let's schedule a time. Schedule the time. Just send, you can even just do it over your phone if you don't have Zoom. And then there you go. You have your first you're on your way to your first client. That's it. And then
that's
you
it.
repeat the process over and over and over again.
So you're very much into if you have a phone, you can do your online coaching anywhere
Yes.
in the world. Because I
Yes.
interviewed another mom and she said, there are no excuses. You have a phone.
Yes.
As easy as that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You don't even need Zoom. And I mean, you can, and that's an easy software to use, but you don't need anything else. Like, That's all you need is your knowledge and your willingness to talk with people and get out there and start talking to more people.
That is minimalist approach, definitely.
Simple.
Definitely.
Because you know what happens is then the mind comes up with all the dramas as to all the reasons why you can't do that. And that's why most people don't. But
Oh, can you talk more a little bit about that?
Mhm.
Why moms usually say no? They get overwhelmed easily because they need to have this picture perfect
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's that element of the perfectionism. Well, I need a website to look legitimate, but do you really? Do people really, if you're talking with someone in person and you're establishing that trust with them, does everyone really go to the website and search and seek you out after that? Not everyone. Like if you establish enough connection and rapport and you demonstrate in your ability to understand that person's problem and speak clearly on your solution as to how you help them, then the website doesn't matter. Right. But our brains will tell us, oh, we need the website to be legitimate. You don't.
Mm.
Over time, when you have more clients and you get that revenue to hire someone to make a website or do it yourself through WordPress or Squarespace, then for sure you can do it, but it's not needed in the very beginning.
Very good. One of the things that I heard also is that in order for you to be able to have this business while raising a family, that you need to outsource many things because then the important part of your business is done by you, but the minimal part of your life, like going to the groceries or like going to, I don't know, prepare the food, you outsource that, like DoorDash, Instacart, and delivery services. What are your thoughts about it?
I think it depends. I think it can be a personal decision, but here's my advice to the entrepreneur that is trying to bring home more profit is if you're really struggling to make ends meet or to be profitable, then you probably are outsourcing too much. So I find many entrepreneurs come into the business an excellent coach or an excellent practitioner and hate marketing, for example. And so that's the first thing they want to outsource is hiring a VA to do their graphics or write their copy or a marketing assistant. But the truth is if you don't know how to train that VA to write the copy that speaks to your ideal client that you want to work with and that really differentiates you from everyone else out there on the online world, it literally will be money wasted. And if you're trying to make a profit, that's what's chewing into your profitability is too much outsourcing. When in the beginning, you can do it all yourself and you'll learn so much in the process. Yeah, I'm saying it might not be comfortable, it might be tedious, it might be painful, but the growth that you get from learning and going through all that, it'll pay dividends for the big picture of your business.
Okay, so you suffer a little bit in the beginning by doing the work yourself, and then you'll see how direct or how clear your message is, and you get more clients, and then because you are more profitable, then you can hire someone.
Yeah, hire people when you have more profit. Of course, unless you're really, really tight on time and you have money to spend, then outsource.
Okay.
But that's where it becomes a personal decision. You get to decide, like, if you have money to spend, then spend it and outsource. If you don't have that money to spend, then do it yourself. And it's not that you have to suffer through that. I've found I used to dislike marketing, for example, if we're using that example. And now I love it. It's a creative process. So
It is.
you can shift some things in your mindset too, where you don't have to grind or, white knuckle your way through, where you can make the processes more enjoyable too, as well.
So in the end, it is a change of your attitude and your mindset that allows you to grow in your own business by saying, okay, I don't like marketing, But if I learn right now, whenever I have the money and the profits to hire someone, I can actually express exactly what I want them to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that's why business, I feel, is business growth. What's really required is both, yes, the strategy of knowing like how to market and developing that marketing plan, but also mindset. You really need both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was that's a keyword SEO, but okay, that's the keyword on all the interviews is about changing your mindset or have a or going from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset,
Mm-hmm.
or having from scarcity to abundance. So any way you want to phrase it, it is about
Mm-hmm.
making this change that will allow you to open yourself to other opportunities or thinking out of the box to make the best of the situation you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not, sometimes with that process, there can be a layer of shame or guilt with that. Like, oh, I should be feeling this way, or I should be feeling grateful, or I need to switch to abundant mindset. It's there is an element of honoring how you feel in a moment. Like there will be times in your business where you'll feel fearful, right? If you're trying something new, it's normal to feel anxious about it or fearful. And if you just try to be positive, then you're going to bypass like the true element of being human. And then there's going to be times in your business as an entrepreneur you're going to fail. Every entrepreneur fails, and it's going to feel like
Everybody.
crap to fail.
Yes.
It's going to feel horrible. And you don't want to bypass that. You can't just bypass it, because then every time you're bypassing those negative or uncomfortable emotions, that's exhausting. It's an energy leak. There's going to be resistance to that. And that builds up over time and can lead to exhaustion and even burnout. Or again, that element of perfectionism. So there is an art and a balance of catching yourself and noticing, okay, what am I thinking and what am I feeling? And is it warranted for this situation? And if it's warranted, then honor how you're feeling. And if it's not, if it's just your primal brain, like erring on that side of negativity bias, because that's how we're wired as human, then
Uh-huh.
being like, oh, okay, no, that's just a story. I can choose not to believe that or feel that way right now. And I want to feel this other way instead.
Okay, but for you as a mom, for a mom to be able to recognize that you need a
Mm-hmm.
coach, you
Mm-hmm.
need someone to guide
Yeah,
you.
it is how it's a lot more helpful with a coach for sure, because
Mhm.
it's sometimes very hard to be aware or onto
Mhm.
ourselves of what we're actually thinking and feeling in a given moment. And once like a coach can provide that insight for you, then as you go about your day to day, it's easier to recognize, oh, okay, there, I'm doing it right now. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Like it's just in a split second, like recognizing and becoming aware of that, and realizing that you have a choice in that moment. But to get to the point where you are aware and recognizing the choice, a coach is very helpful to provide that outsider perspective.
Yeah, because I read somewhere that we have like 60,000 thoughts in our brain, I don't know, per day or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah.
So trying to figure it out which ones are negative, positive, the story or not, you do need help. You do need
Mm-hmm.
someone to guide you on that path. And if you add to your own thoughts, your kids' thoughts, and then your family thoughts, and there anybody else's thoughts that you are in your family, then that could be one of the reasons why mothers are usually so uh, resistant to start a business without feeling that imposter syndrome that am,
Right.
am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be a good mom? Am I going to be a good business owner? How can I do all these and show everybody that I can actually do it and not fail in every single one of the spots that I'm supposed to be there?
Yes, 100%. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm all for the coaching. I'm definitely biased for that because I am a coach,
Yeah.
right? And I've experienced so much positive change in my own life through coaching. I 100% support that. It just, you can do it by yourself, but if you want to make the journey smoother, a little, have more ease and get to where you want to go faster, then a coach will for sure help you to do that.
And is that something that you offer in your practice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I'm working with business coaching, when I'm coaching, we do both strategy and then because the strategy part is simple. We can do that pretty quickly. We can on one call, we can create a marketing strategy or, set up someone's like consultation process and all those things. But it's when you're going to implement it, for most people, it's the implementation part or the failing and the trial and error part where people get stuck. And so
Okay.
that's what I bring on a lot of my calls, is figuring out that mindset piece or that awareness piece of, oh, okay, what's really causing you to stall out or not follow through with this strategy that we implemented,
Okay.
for example.
Okay. And do you, as part of the showcasing your business right now, your practice, and do you only work with established wellness coaches, or you can start a mom like, hey, I really want to be, I love wellness. I'm a yoga aficionado. I do all kind of
Mhm.
pretzels here, uh,
Uh-huh.
and poses.
Yep.
How can I become a yoga teacher or a wellness coach? Did you
Yeah.
coach
Yeah.
them since the beginning?
Um I don't do the certification, but
Mm-hmm.
I do help with developing the practitioner skills because I've been a wellness practitioner for over 20 years. So I do help with, if someone comes to me with their yoga teacher training 200-hour or their first health coaching certification, for example, I can help with the development of the skills to help their clients or their students get the results that they want. And I do start with I do business coach a lot of wellness entrepreneurs that are just starting off, and maybe they are a stay-at-home mom and now they want to have their business. They've had it as a dream for a long time and they want to
Mm-hmm.
get started. I've helped many entrepreneurs do that. I've also helped many entrepreneurs who've been working part-time or full-time start their own business from scratch.
Oh, that's amazing. So now you know, friends who are listening. Now, if you want to start your health wellness coaching program, first get certification on hand, and then you come and call Alison.
Mhm.
What are your future goals for your business?
Say that again.
What are your future goals for your business?
Oh, well, I'm launching a mastermind group this fall. So primarily I've been working one-to-one. So I'm launching a group this fall. I'm very excited about getting a community together and bringing in expert speakers like on copywriting and Facebook ads and these very tactical things that they're the expert in, and then coaching on the mindset portion of that. So I'm really looking forward to that. And actually, in the future as well, I'm developing the program as I speak right now to launch your wellness business in 90 days. So those are coming up as well.
I'm so excited for you, and I'm rooting for you right now. Again, I know that there's a lot of moms who are into the wellness because they practice yoga and because they practice
Mhm.
mindfulness and because they are practitioners of all that without a certification because they do that in their daily life and they
Sure.
want to help other moms or other people. I know that they're going to be calling you very soon to get
Yes.
that 90-day program to start their business as a wellness coach.
Love that. Yeah. So they can hop over to the website. It's igniteyourwellness.com. So it's igniteyourwellness.com. And if they just opt into, I have a few freebies. There's a yoga teacher resource, like endless class themes for those just starting off as a yoga teacher. There's a Get Clients Blueprint. It's a free training so they can get their first few clients. And then they'll be up to date when I do release that program. They'll be the
Excellent.
first to know.
Yeah, thank you. And well, friends, this is has been a wonderful afternoon with Alison. She's in California, and I'm in
Yes.
Texas, so both of us are scorching hot right now.
We're getting there.
It hasn't changed. And now you know, if you are looking into opening your practice as a wellness coach, go to igniteyourwellness.com, and I'm going to put it on the show notes so you can
Perfect.
go and link it. And thank you, Alison, for being with us. And thank you, friends.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Well, friends, this has been a very interesting conversation with Alison. Now you know, if you want to become a wellness coach, start your certification. 200 hours of yoga practice, that's way too much for me. But I know if you're in that industry, that will be a breeze for you. Okay, so I'm Gaby Randon, and thank you for being with me. You can find me as Content with a Purpose on any social media or LinkedIn as Gaby Randon. Until next week. Bye.